I thought we was gonna do the Need for Speed, just a rolling start, nigga. Just start talking, nigga.
What up, though? What up, though? This your boy Shane G. We are here with another episode of The Bar Exam right here on the Ethos Media Network. Before we get started, please make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe for all of our latest content. And as always, I got with me the homeboys. You know what I'm saying? This is a boys being boys episode. You know what I'm saying? So we got the homie Eric G in the building. What up?
What up?
And I got my homie Mr. Marcus TV in the building. What's good?
Yo, what up? What up? What up?
Yeah. So here today, we're going to be discussing the list that just recently went viral, and it was the 50 worst rappers of all time. So a lot of people were up in arms about this list. A lot of people were upset that they were mentioned. I have the list here. First of all, fellas, when you first saw the list, what did y'all think? Did y'all agree with it mostly? Did y'all disagree? You know, or is it kind of a case by case? We just got to go through it and figure it out.
Case by case?
Yeah, it's kind of this one is kind of
Case
case
by
by
case.
case, only because it's 50 names.
It's 50 names, but I will say this: I didn't agree with Magoo being number one. There are plenty of other worse rappers who should be number one than because when you say Magoo, you don't think of just Magoo as a rapper. You think Timbaland and Magoo. So I wouldn't put. I mean, he's like Silta Shaka to me, like they equal. Like I can't put Magoo above above Silta Shaka and Silta Shaka above Magoo. Like they just horrible altogether. But I don't think number one should be Magoo.
Okay, I do want to remind you though of some Magoo lyrics before we get into this.
I didn't say he wasn't shitty. I'm just saying he shouldn't be number one.
We're gonna review some Magoo lyrics though, just to see if you still stand on that statement. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second.
I mean,
We're gonna look up Jumps the Boogie, in which he opens up the song by saying, "I fiend for all beats, like girls jump for dicks. Don't salt the next man, keep that Limburg shit. Up in the cut, like gay niggas in butt. I'm black with Indian, my race should be mutt." Those are the first lyrics that you ever heard Magoo rap ever. Because you never heard a Magoo song before Up Jumps the Boogie, I can guarantee that. So do you stand on that? He's not the worst rapper ever with lines like that?
I'm gonna say so. When that song came out, we're gonna say what that was 94ish, maybe.
Well, it was like 95, 96, something like that.
Yeah, okay. I was 10. I was not fucking following the lyrics, and it was more of the beat could overshadow production, could overshadow lyrical integrity. Now, of course, when we talk about in 2024, I'm not gonna sit here and say like, "Oh yes, that was." I'm gonna stand on it. It was horrible, but we weren't listening to no one. No one was rapping Magoo's lyrics then either.
Nah, we was rapping Timbaland's part and we were singing Aaliyah's part and Missy's part.
Nobody. And then if you did, it's the same thing with the Busta Rhymes. No one knew what he was saying. Get away. Like no one knew the lyrics to that.
Mm-mm.
Like they do now. Like we weren't listening for lyrics then. And things that were part of our childhood that we listened to.
Wait. We weren't listening for lyrics in the mid 90s?
Not you just said what the popular parts of that song was. No one was quoting Magoo. No one was like, "No, I'm gonna do Magoo part." That wasn't happening.
Not saying shit like that. No.
Yeah, no. And then, matter of fact, it would have been even weird as fuck if somebody even knew Magoo's part then. Not now, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so I mean,
and I love that song too. And I'm gonna be real, Marcus. I'm with you. I didn't know what that nigga was saying back then. It was the beat, it was the video, it was you know what I'm saying? Like it was Missy, because I've always been a huge Missy fan. It was Timbaland. Because Timbaland was saying some clever stuff, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't necessarily like overly rapping crazy stuff, but he was saying like he had some funny lines in there. Like he had at least quotables, you know what I'm saying? Like Magoo, like he was just on the song. You know what I'm saying? He was just a nigga on the song.
if I'm not in that, the bird is the word. The bird, like
nah, that was their second single.
That was okay.
That was Love to Love You.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's kind of the same thing on that. It was whoever the girl was and Timbaland. Because it wasn't necessarily like one of the more popular girls who was rapping on that song. Because it was a girl rapper, Tim and Magoo. And Timbaland and the girl, I think it was kind of the same story. Eric, what's your opinion?
Were they like overtook that song basically?
Yeah. Like it was those were the parts that you were listening for.
It's crazy that Magoo got an ass cap check.
And from what I heard, like he kind of did what Chamillionaire did in the sense of he just took all of the music money that he made like early and invested it in a bunch of shit, and that's how he was able to basically sustain his life until he passed. So,
oh shit, Magoo died.
Yeah, Magoo passed like what, last year, year before, something like that. Here, let me see.
I did not know that.
I did not know that.
Damn.
Yeah. Nah, he.
Oh.
Yeah, last year, August.
I ain't putting no dead man on
August 13th is when Magoo passed away last year.
So yeah,
just over a year since we lost Magoo.
I'm not gonna put a dead man on number one.
That is a little
skill, bro. They're not talking about the man he was. They're not talking about the father he was. Or none of that. They're talking about how good of a rapper was he, and that nigga was ass. Like it is what it is. Like I'm sure he was a good dude and all of that. Like, but I'm talking about rapping. Like you know what I'm saying? You can judge. We're judging art. We're not judging morals. None of that.
Rest in peace, Magoo, man.
Rest in peace, Magoo. On some real shit.
Don't need to be number one. There are others who deserve that space.
Number two is Blueface. How do we feel about that pick? Eric, how do we feel about Blueface being number two, worst rapper of all time?
Of all time, that's pretty high, but he's not that good though. I don't know. Number two is kind of a stretch. What do you guys think? Like top 10? That's what I'm thinking. Maybe top 10, top 20.
Blueface for me, the thing about Blueface is it depends on what you're looking for in your rap, right? So if you're looking for something kind of funny or not necessarily, or if you're looking for something unorthodox, i.e. a Draco, i.e. out of Detroit, a Danny Brown, i.e. out of the Bay, a E40, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different people who find ways to rap in such an unorthodox way that at first when you hear it, you're like, this shit trash. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like everybody's first impression of everybody that I just named is probably like, yo, I don't know about this. Like this shit is this nigga ain't in pocket. He rapping, he's saying a bunch of words I ain't never heard before. Like, what is this nigga? I don't know about all this. And then eventually that shit catches on and then people fuck with it. So I don't know. Like, I don't know, like, because I was kind of in that camp at first, like, but I kind of knew what it was when I first heard it. I was like, oh, he's not being serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not trying to be a lyrical rapper or nothing. Like, he's just doing some shit in the studio and it happened to work. That was my impression of it. What you think, Marcus?
I don't want to call him the worst rapper of all time and put him on a list because I literally look at Blueface as a one-hit wonder. Like I don't consider him even a rapper. Like I mean we know he raps, but he's more the reality superstar or star or whatever. The baby mama drama with Christian Rock. Like I don't consider him I don't consider him a rapper. I think he's a nigga who rapped. And I don't even mean raps like currently. He rapped once, had a one-hit wonder, and then like now he's gonna eat off of that off the rest of his life. And you know, I used to have the number one song. I did Rolling like you're gonna hold on to that shit forever. He's the youngest he's Benzino's son.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like you're gonna hold on to the sword so long that like you're gonna have to Google and fact check to prove who you are. Like, no, I don't even consider him a rapper. I don't. I just don't.
Well, at this point, he's not really a rapper anymore. At this point, we're like into the content creation and into the reality shows and shit like that. That's why he's eating now.
So yeah, I don't and I don't
and all of that.
So to put him on the rap of the all-time rappers, I feel like you have to rap, and I don't consider him a rapper. Like if that just and it's the same
creator who just
that's true.
That content was rap.
And that goes that I don't consider them rappers goes across the board too, because there are superstars, LL Cool J, who I don't consider a rapper. I consider him an actor now because of where he is. I'm not. It's not lost.
He just put out again with Eminem proves that nigga's still a rapper at heart. Like
no, not that he can't. I'm just saying when you first the same thing with Ice-T. You think of the Detective Tutu from Law and Order, then you do him smacking like with the
like it's a little different with Ice-T to me, only because it's been with Ice-T, it's been a longer shelf life with him without putting out music. With LL, he was still kind of popular like in the mid 2000s and stuff with his music.
Right. Like Headsprung came out in like 04 or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like, whereas like Ice-T, they were still eating off Cop Killer and shit, which came out in like 89 or something like that. And that was in the 2000s. Like Ice-T hadn't dropped music in forever at that point. Like LL was still doing both up until like the mid 2000s.
Okay,
then he was like,
I mean, because he was on the Deep Blue.
For me, like because I grew up with LL still dropping music, that's why I still consider him a rapper in my mind. Whereas Ice-T, I didn't grow up with him dropping any music damn near. Like he might have put out a rock album here and there, but like for the most part, he was just straight acting. Like,
okay, then I'll go extreme. I'll say Will Smith. I don't consider him a rapper.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's more. That's
okay.
Okay. I can deal with that because for me, even his musical hits always coincided with acting. Like Men in Black, the Men in Black anthem.
Right.
Okay, that's a direct correlation. You know what I'm saying? Like even the album Big Willie Style, that was a lot of that was off of the back of a lot of his movies. He just happened to kind of catch a break right at the right time with getting jiggy with it and shit like that. But for the most part, all of his hits always coincided with when a movie of his was dropping. So for me, that's like, nah, you an actor. Like you just happen to know how to do music and use it as a vehicle for marketing in a way. You know what I mean? So anyway, Blueface has lines like this though. Keep my bitch in good condition like some leave-in. Every couple weeks she need a new weave in. If she can't suck, then she not succeeding. I'm really mean because they don't know the meaning. No I in team, but there's an I in teaming.
Yeah,
basic. Is the worst rapper ever worthy?
No.
No,
it's not. But it's basic because it's basic.
It's very basic, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, it's not the worst I've ever heard.
All right, let's keep going. Lil Yachty's number 3. Eric, how do you feel about it?
Completely disagree. Completely. If you were to ask me about Lil Yachty about like maybe 2016, 2017 Yachty, I probably would have gave you a different answer. Today's Yachty, though, I can't say that.
Why? What has he done better in the last, what you said 2017, 2018? So like in the last 6 years, was he gotten better about?
His actual rapping ability and who he chooses to, and like who he's worked with has, to me, significantly stepped his game up. Like working with rappers like a Joey Badass, stepping into the studio with a producer like Alchemist, like even all the way to the Michigan shit that we like that he did. Like he just started kind of picking different like styles of rapping and kind of honing in on like what he grew to get really good at skill wise, because he wasn't rapping the way that he was rapping back in 2017 the way that he is now. But I think a lot of that is because of who he's kind of surrounded himself by. Like he's kind of like he's wanting to learn more. Back then, he was like a young ass kid who thought like he was pretty much doing everything the right way around that time. Whereas now it seems like he's kind of trying to pick the brains from like some of the like OGs in the game and shit like that now. So that's kind of one major thing that I've noticed. Like he has stepped outside of his box tremendously.
Marcus, what are your thoughts on Yachty, bro?
Like I agree with Eric's principle. I do. But I also feel like Yachty was one of those new age weird niggas, right? Who when they was around, when they were coming up, you know, early, like they weren't what we were typically used to hearing. So because of that, they had their own kind of, you know, niche fan base, right? And that niche fan base did numbers to get them recognized to the, you know, to the people who were, you know, doing numbers. And then that's when I feel like what Eric said is true. Like everybody wanted to get into his niche fan base, so they would want to work with. Oh, I need to do it with Yachty. I need to do it with. It wasn't because of his ability. It was because they wanted his niche fan base of, I don't have them type of fans. So I agree with what he said, but I feel like the reasoning behind it, it's like Alchemist didn't work with Yachty because he saw talent. He was like, oh, well, shit, if Yachty got these people over here, I can make them Alchemist fans, or I can bring something out of him. You know, it's a two-way street. It's both. It's not even one or the other. Two things can be true at the same time. So I just think the reasoning behind it was mutually beneficial that Yachty worked with some people later, and what you said too, in the last 6 years versus his first 4. Because he proved that his fan base was something that they, you know, didn't have a grad. Because that's, and you know, everybody on this list too has always done an interview for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody on this 50-person list. Mm-hmm. Some of these interviews is wild. Like we talk, like I mean, he's not even on the list, but they have Orlando, what's the dude? Orlando Brown, because I was gonna say Bloom, and I was like, that's not the Lord of the Rings nigga. That's not it. Yeah, Orlando Brown. Like they have some Orlando Bloom style interviews, and they music is just like, what the fuck? And then you hear them, you like, oh, it goes hand in hand. So that's what I would say to that. Like some of these, it's just crazy.
I guess for me, I like the fact that I used to totally couldn't stand Yachty. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't fuck with it at all. Like the early shit where he was doing like the singing and like the high tones and stuff like that, and I didn't like none of that. But then, like Eric said, he started rapping with a lot of the Michigan dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the Flint guys, especially, he was rocking with a lot of them, and because of his relationship with them, he was starting to rock with dudes like Icewear Vezo, and you know what I'm saying? Like he was really tapping into the trenches in Michigan, and he got really tapped in out of nowhere. It was kind of weird, but he was putting a lot of those dudes on. So I just kind of gained a respect for him in a way, because it was like, you know, no disrespect, but that's kind of what people wanted Big Sean and T Grizzly to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was almost like when they got popping, they started fucking with, you know, people from Atlanta and people from LA and all of that kind of stuff. And they weren't really bringing the trenches of Detroit up with them. That was kind of a complaint. You know what I'm saying? So Yachty from Atlanta just came to Detroit and started doing that shit. So it was like, all right, like that's dope. That doesn't mean I like your rapping still, but what I respect about it, what it caused that I also respect about it is he started sort of experimenting with his flows and doing different things and just trying to be different and try different styles and stuff like that. And I can always appreciate that coming from an artist. Like even if it doesn't work, if you're trying new things and you're trying to grow as an artist, I can at least appreciate the attempt, even if I don't go back to it. Whereas with Yachty, I feel like it did actually improve his skill set. So there are certain Yachty songs that I'll go back to now. Now, most of the time they're featuring Detroit people or Flint people, but that's more than what it was before, where it was like, turn that shit off. You know what I'm saying? It used to be turn that shit off. Now it's like, oh, who else is on there with him? Oh, no, this shit kind of hard. And then he has lines like this that I just think are funny. Like, he says, this is on a song he's got with Rimble called Rock Climbing. He says, Rolls Royces, Maybachs, I am not driving. 30 floors in the air, I am not hiding. On the patio off drugs, start skydiving. She said her butt was real, guess her thighs was lying. Man's be hanging with the ops, he is not riding. They inside full time, so they is not dying. I'm not the one to be afraid of if my family's behind me. Chainsaws and Kel-Tex up in Mary J. Blige 'em. Shit, I mean Lil Kim 'em. Dodging millimeter bullets bigger than Jessica Simpson. Bitches giving head looking like her chin crimson. Like, it's just funny shit. Like, he's just doing shit to like make his flow stick. And I don't know. Like I said, I can just appreciate it when people are trying to come different, especially when so much of the game is cookie cutter and it's like, oh, that's working, so I'm just going to do that. Like, he's going out there and actively rapping in different pockets and finding different, weird metaphors and bars and shit like that nobody else is going to come up with. So I can appreciate him. I definitely wouldn't put him on the worst. Not at this point. If you had asked me before he started, his Michigan boy boat wave, yeah, but not now.
Yeah. And I always thought he was trying to knock Thug, like to be an imitation Young Thug when he initially came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was low, like, he saw, oh, he can do that, I can do that too, type of, and I didn't once I had that thought about him, he never grew out of it for me.
Yeah. Number 4. This is a weird one for me. Stunna 4 Vegas.
This is a weird one for me too.
That's weird. Why is he on the list?
I don't know. Maybe because he fell off super hard after everything with the baby. That's really the only logical reason I could see to put him on here. Because, I mean, Stunna 4 Vegas is not a bad rapper.
At all. Not to me. And the thing is, too, I feel like a lot of people had that misconstrued. He didn't fall off. He chose to leave the game because he didn't want to be a rapper no more. Like, he started a family and he's like coaching AAU basketball in Houston and shit. Like, he's still got money. He's doing his thing right now. Like, he's chilling. He just doesn't want to rap no more. So to say because he fell off is like, that's not even a good reason if he chose to step away. So it's like, to call
I didn't know he chose to step away like that. That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
To call him the wackest is wild.
You know how we always say, industry plants, right? We always keep saying, you hear that word, industry plant. That's an industry plant. That's an industry plant. I feel like this was a list plant. This was on the list for shock. Like, why is he like what y'all two just did on talking about it? That's why he's on the list. To make the list. Why is he on there? And then he's on there at number 4. So that means,
number 4 is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. He's on, like, we put him at number 4. Like, and I'm not like it. List plant. That's what he is. He's a list plant.
Yeah, because that don't make no sense. Like, because he's not really like obviously like a barsmith or a wordsmith or no shit like that. But his flow, he's a flow guy though. He's one of those dudes where you listen to the beat and his cadence just becomes a part of the beat. Like, he's one of those guys. So like, you listening to Stunna 4 Vegas, you just all of a sudden just like you ride along with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit he does. So it's like, to call him, I don't know, that's insane to me. To call him the 4th wackest rapper of all time is nuts.
Yeah.
The other thing to me too is on a couple of those early DaBaby records, there were a few where Stunna got him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like DaBaby was just live
because of his association with DaBaby. Like, just overall, because that's how people know him and they canceled DaBaby. And then Stunna kind of fell back. So it's like, he's whack now.
I think that's what it is.
That's weird, though, because they trying to bring DaBaby back. Like, he's been doing a little run.
No. They did not bring the baby back. The baby brought himself back. The baby is the only rapper in this post-COVID cancel culture who has uncanceled himself with no help.
Pure
literally
just drop a million freestyles on you.
Yeah, the baby has we haven't seen anything like the baby's. I don't even want to say is it Fall from Grace, and then what is this Resurgence?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all. That's good.
Yeah, we have never seen a resurgence grind like the baby, and then he's getting discovered like he wasn't who he was before. Did you hear what the baby said on Shake 4-5? Like what? Like, and because he did damn, did he? I think he redid Sexy Red.
Oh, okay.
I think he either freestyled on it or did and it was
fine.
It worked. Like it could go.
Okay.
Like it so yeah, the baby uncanceled himself through his own grind, grit, determination, willpower. And here's the crazy part. Do you even remember what he said to get canceled?
Yeah,
Yes.
I remember.
Yes, I do.
See, I think the average person, so we're gonna say 6 out of 10. I don't think 6 people remember what he said.
Probably not. There's been too much going on since then, but just because I happen to follow hip hop news, probably more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might not like him because of what he did to Danny Lynn and her brother, but you don't remember what he said to get canceled. I feel like more people. Let me rephrase that. More people know about the second situation than the first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's probably true.
Number 5, we got Silk the Shocker, which I totally agree with.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I'm like,
this one's the first one I agree with too.
Silk is one of the worst niggas ever. And I think you can't really do the Blueface thing with him or the E40 thing or the, you know what I mean, where it's like, oh no, it's just a different style of offbeat. And it was like, nah, this just didn't work. Like I didn't like hearing it at all. There was never a point where I did. The only songs of Silk that I ever listened to were the joints that had everybody else from No Limit on them. It ain't my fault and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of that, I'm cool on Silk. Like,
yeah, you're not running into any Silk the Shocker fans for real. Like that's just that's not happening.
So as someone who has the entire No Limit catalog, I didn't like I grew up. I remember having True to the Game on cassette. Like I remember No Limits come up like as vividly as it was just. I wasn't a fan of when I didn't know music and I didn't like Silk. I was a child. Didn't like Silk.
Yeah, Silk is terrible.
That it would out of all the people on No Limit, he was the worst one ever.
He might have to move up a little bit on this list. He might have to.
Definitely. Well, he's 5. So
he's worse than everybody we've mentioned so far.
He is worse, but I also I like him being at 5 as a gatekeeper position for 4 others. I like letting him be the gatekeeper of top 5, bottom 5, top 10. Like I like where he's at. I'm not gonna say he's a great gatekeeper of shitty nigga rapping.
All right.
He's a great number 5, but there's other people that could go on those 2 through 4 spots.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also don't feel like he should be 10 either. And there's not he needs to be the lit for the top 5. Yeah.
5 solid. 5 solid. Yeah. Number 6 is JoJo Simmons. That's Russell Simmons' nephew and Rev Run's son. I've never heard this nigga's raps.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I've ever heard JoJo rap to know if I know he's trash or not. I've heard Diggy Simmons rap. Diggy Simmons was okay.
Yeah, Diggy was alright.
Yeah, Diggy was straight.
Diggy was alright.
No idea
JoJo, yeah, I heard. I don't know nothing about.
JoJo wanted to live a lifestyle that we all knew was a lie.
Well, I do remember them goon niggas running up on him and grabbing him up by the collar and then catching him on camera. I do remember that.
Like Rev Run got out. Like, do you understand that he got out the tub to go to go save JoJo, but he ain't did. He let Angela. Man, that's a whole nother thing. But he got out the tub to save JoJo's life. Where are you? Oh, I
had to get off that BlackBerry.
I think JoJo is another placeholder here.
As 6 or its placeholder is 10?
No, when I say placeholder, sorry, not placeholder. That's the wrong word. I think they just threw him in here just because.
Oh, plan.
Because I'm almost like, what work does he even have out there for us to really even call him a rapper? Like, is he really even a rapper for real, or is he a nigga that put out a few freestyles and he's Rev Run's son, so they're just considering him? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like I don't know.
Is he really a rapper for real? Like, does he have one album out? Like,
does he have a mixtape out?
Does he have a mixtape? Right? Does he have a full project out? Any? Like,
I'm gonna look at one better.
JoJo Simmons.
I'm looking too.
I don't think that nigga has a saved studio session.
It says he has an Apple Music.
That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, gang. Like, what profession rapper? No albums are coming up at all. Just social media and yeah, nah.
He has no albums. All of these
are
just singles.
Nothing.
Hey, do y'all have a significant female in your life, like a cousin, a sister, somebody you have near and dear to you? Like, just have that person in your head right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Hey, Shane. Hey, Eric. Like, hey, what's going on, sis? How you been? I want you to meet my new dude. Like, he been treating me right, doing all this. He into music just like you. Like, yeah, that's what's up. I'm gonna get him on the show. Like, if he gonna help us out, get us some views, damn right. Let me talk to the gang, get him on board. Now, where at? It's JoJo Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
You immediately lose respect for her. Why would you send like you love this person? You care about
her. I gotta pull her to the side. Hey, what you doing?
Hey, just let her know. Hey, that's not gonna work out the way you think it's going. It's going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
don't pull that move.
No, fucking.
We have another one I totally disagree with. Number 7 is G Herbo. Completely disagree.
Yeah. Whoever put G Herbo on this just doesn't like his flow. That's all that is.
That's what it is.
And I thought he was on the list because of his extracurricular activities, versus his rapping abilities. Maybe that's why he made the list. But I don't think, and especially to make the list top 10, I don't feel
that's wild.
I don't believe
it's one of the most viewed freestyles on YouTube. Like that one where he raps over the 3-6 beat. He ended up having to turn that into a track and putting it out on the Southside album, if I'm not mistaken, because the freestyle was that popular and people were like, yo, I want to just be able to listen to this shit all the time. Like it was a huge moment for it. So like, you're not doing shit like that if you're a bad rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I couldn't agree more.
It goes viral and people are like, no, put this on a track so we can hear it. That doesn't happen. Not if you're trash, let alone in the top 10. That's crazy.
I don't think he should be top 10.
Number 8 is 50.
Be on the list, period.
Number 8 is 50 Tyson. I can rock with that pick.
Yeah, I can too.
I can fuck with that.
Mm-hmm. This one's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think we really got to say much.
And then also, it was intentionally after 50 Cent. It wasn't like they both had 50 in their name like that. I think this was before.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, right? He was special, and so It was a play off of the fact that he looked like a combination of 50 Cent and Mike Tyson. So they just called him 50 Tyson.
Oh, wow.
I never knew that.
But I'm almost positive that's what the situation was.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up because I was going to say, like, before, like, everybody was always named Lil something, Lil this, Lil that. No one had ever taken someone else's kind of first name and then went by it. But before this.
Right. Right, exactly. Nobody became the Notorious Greg.
Right,
yeah.
The Notorious Greg.
What's the deal, y'all? This your boy Shane G, man. Definitely want to say thank you for watching part 1 of this week's episode of the bar exam. We got part 2 coming next Monday, a week from today, same time. So make sure that you tune in for part 2, where we continue discussing the 50 worst rappers of all time list. Until next time, Shane G, we out.